There we go. Remembered to hit record. I said this to my 4K and above last night, and I said, y'all, this where I am right now is 6.5, almost 7 years of work. And something that I love to always say at the end of the month is, y'all, you showed up. Our volume, I'm going to speak for my downline. I know that a couple other downlines hop on here, but my downline, like, we ended very nicely. Like it was huge. Some people had rough months, some people had their best months, but that doesn't mean volume wise. I'm not talking best month volume wise. I'm not talking worst month volume wise, because there was a couple months in this industry where I had my best months, but it was like my worst month everywhere else, if that makes sense. So I want you to just have that moment to just congratulate yourself for showing up. Have that moment. My dog is eating my hair. Welcome to it. Have that moment to just say, I did it. This was another month. Tomorrow starts a brand new day. You are starting out at 0. Every single person starts at 0 tomorrow. Every single person starts at 0 tomorrow. We all start from the same level, the same playing field, the same whatever other synonym. Did we decide that was the word that I'm supposed to use? Words are hard. Synonym. See, if I can get on here and lead a training and lead this multi-million-dollar team and I don't even know what a synonym is, like, y'all, you can do this. So whatever synonym. Am I saying that right? I feel like it's like onomatopoeia. Whatever that word is, and whatever. I'm glad that y'all laugh at me and love this. I'm glad that y'all love me. Y'all are my people. But you did it. Tomorrow is a brand new day. We all start with the same tools, the same resources, all at 0. All that matters from here on out is what you do with it. So on that topic, I am going to talk about IPAs and non-negotiables. My downline knows non-negotiables probably like the back of their hand, just like our entire team knows IPAs. And I'm going to talk about the difference between them. And I'm going to talk about what that means, what IPAs are, what non-negotiables are, how to decide when to do them, how to decide what they should be, you know, all of that fun stuff, right? So if you know what your non-negotiables are, can you put them in the chat? If you don't know what they are, don't worry, I'm going to talk about it. But just if you know what your non-negotiables are, write them in the chat, please. I'm going to talk about non-negotiables first, because I feel like we talk about IPAs a lot, and don't worry, I'm going to talk about them again. Lucky us. And I'm going to go into detail of what each one is. But for me, I want to know what your guys' non-negotiables or what you think non-negotiables are. The reason I'm saying that is because non-negotiables are 3 to 5 things, because it wouldn't be Lynn's if I didn't say at least 5, right? Hello, hi. 3 to 5 things that you do every single day, no matter what is going on around you, no matter what life is happening, no matter how busy your schedule is, no matter X, Y, and Z, your non-negotiables are what you do, no matter what. My non-negotiables for me, always self-development. That's not a business non-negotiable. That's just a life non-negotiable. And I say this all the time, that if you are not doing self-development, and I said this last Monday, I said, self-development, you can literally overdose on self-development. So I'm not talking about sitting down for 17 hours of your day listening to a podcast or reading a book. My self-development is going to the gym. My self-development is kicking my own ass until I'm like, all right, I need to go home. Like, I can't breathe. I'm sweating. My kneecaps are sweating. Like, this is not cute. That's my type of self-development. Some people's self-development is podcasts. Some people's self-development is reading a book, but I want you to set a limit to it. Okay. If you are struggling and you feel like all you're doing is pouring into yourself, all you're doing is self-development, I want you to start setting a limit on your self-development. The reason I'm saying this again is because you can do too much self-development. Have you ever done, if you know what I'm talking about, have you ever done so much self-development that you literally sit there and you're like, wow, I need a nap. Like, I just grew my brain, but wow, I need a nap. I'm seeing hands going up. So I know that y'all are feeling me on this. Like I'm not a reader, so I'm not even gonna lie and be like, I read a book once, because I probably didn't. I listen to audibles and I listen to podcasts, and I would sit there, and if they're like an hour long, y'all, I'm like, already know I can't do it. I'm going to break it up into different sections, because if I sit there for an hour, I'm going to get off of that and I'm going to be like, I need a bubble bath and a nap. You can overexhaust yourself doing self-development. So I just wanted to throw that out there for if self-development is one of your non-negotiables, make sure you're setting a limit to it and it isn't overcoming you. And if you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you're constantly growing your brain and you're constantly growing yourself and you're constantly doing all the things, but your volume isn't adding up, or your growth isn't adding up, or your numbers of like following interactions, they aren't adding up, it could be because you are actually doing too much self-development in one sitting. Okay. I'm not saying don't finish the book. I'm not saying don't finish that hour-long podcast, but I am saying split it up and time block your self-development. So if one of your non-negotiables is self-development, I want you to consider that. So my business self-development is, and if you follow me on social media, you're going to shake your head like, yep, it is, because you probably see me do this every single day. My stories. Being present in my stories, sharing my products in my stories, and having an opportunity post up on my stories every single day is probably my biggest non-negotiable for my business. Why? Yes, stories go away after 24 hours, but people that don't see your posts see your stories, and vice versa. So my next non-negotiable is posting. I post one post a day, and if you have been around the good old Lynn show for a while, then you know I say until I'm blue in the face, one really good, intentional, valuable post can do so much more than posting 7 times a day. One post. So just to regather our non-negotiables: stories, posting, and then I only have 3 non-negotiables, and I know I normally have 5 for everything, but honestly my non-negotiables are 3. But I always say have 3 to 5, so that way if you do feel like you want more, you can work on that. But my third one is interactions. And I switch up my interactions every single day on my non-negotiable days. And I want to talk about non-negotiable days, because I'm sure if you're not on my downline, you probably are like, what is this psycho pants talking about? What in the world? Like, no, someone get her off. Like, no. So we're going to talk about non-negotiables and what that means. For me, if my schedule is completely packed and full, where I literally am like, I don't have time to work my business. One, false. You do. You are just setting too high of expectation on yourself that, sorry, I'm making sure everyone's muted. You are just setting too high expectation on yourself, and you're telling your brain that you have to do all the things every single day. And then you get in this like phase in your life and in your business where you feel like you are doing all the things. Who has ever felt like they have done all the things and they're like, okay, no one's in my inbox, and yesterday, the different, I literally did all the things, right? Everybody, my hand, hi, all the things. And I hear that all the time. Yep, me, yes. If you have ever felt like you're doing all the things, it's because you literally are, that you aren't zoning in on certain things that are going to give you more results. That's where your non-negotiables come in. My non-negotiables on days that I'm like, wow, I do all the things, I feel like I'm spinning my wheels, I need to I just need to take a moment, right? If you're in my downline, I tell you this all the time. Unplug for a moment, get your non-negotiables done, recharge, come back tomorrow. And the reason I say that is because you are going to add so much more value, so much more intention into your business if you aren't trying to rush through a list of IPAs. I'm going to say that again. You're going to help your business so much more, add so much more value, so much more intention if you aren't rushing through to finish a list of IPAs. And there's some people on here who probably still are not able to do an entire round of IPAs in a day. And I want to tell you, it's okay. What I want you to do if you're struggling to get a round of IPAs done is I want you to pick your non-negotiables, 3 to 5 things. And I want you to start doing that every single day, those 3 to 5 things every single day for the next week. Once you have a routine down around those, then I want you to add another one. Once you have a routine down around that, I want you to add another one. So if you are struggling to do IPAs every single day, I want you to start with your non-negotiables, and I want you to start with those 3 to 5 things. Then once you have a routine down after a week or so and you kind of work those things in, add one more, add one more, add one more. Okay? For those who get their IPAs done every single day, I want you to I don't want you to take this so literally, because I know we have a lot of people on the team. When I say like, the sky is yellow, you literally believe me that the sky might be yellow. And I don't want you to take every word that I say literally, because I also want to preface it that just because I say it's working for me, you have to switch it and apply it to work for you. So if I say I follow 15 people and you're like, well, I follow 15 people every day, you might need to do 14. You might need to do 16. When you put numbers on things and you take it so literal, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. You're gonna be like, I'm literally doing all the things. So if you are doing all the things and you get your round of IPAs done, I want you for the next 3 days to do this. 1 round of IPAs in the morning. Then I want you to pick one of your non-negotiables. For me, I tend to start with my interactions, and then I'll do time blocking all day long of just interactions. Then the next day, I do 1 round of IPA, and I'll grow my network, and I'll do time blocking of growing my network all day long. Then the next day, I do 1 round of IPAs, and I'm doing 3, 2, 1 on all of my new people that I just grew my network with. Do you see how that works, and how then you're kind of switching it up, and you're giving your algorithm, you're giving yourself, you're giving your social media, whatever you want to call it, you're giving yourself that grace and that break to literally not be like this doing rounds of IPAs all day long. So let's break up some IPAs now. Does that kind of make sense with the non-negotiables a little bit there? Okay, so I'm going to break up some IPAs real quick, and I want to go through IPAs. If you have a question, throw it in the chat. I'm answering any and all questions. Y'all know I'm an open book. Ask away if you have questions about IPAs, if you have questions about non-negotiables, if you have any question about anything I've said in the first, 14 minutes. I feel like I've said so much. Sorry, y'all. In the first 14 minutes of this, please throw it in the chat, because I promise I will explain whatever you need tonight. So let's talk IPAs. We chatted about self-development. Let me pull up what my IPAs were for today. We've had so many exciting announcements in our chat that I have to scroll a little bit. Okay, so my IPAs for today, self-development, we already chatted about that, right? Time block it. Don't do too much. Don't overwhelm your brain. Don't make it so you do self-development and then you're ready for a nap. The next thing that I want to talk about is products on stories. I think that people, and I want to get into this one a little bit more, because this is where you have fun with it. This isn't products on your stories from like the website. This isn't products on stories from like sitting and doing like product stories of like trying to sell before and afters, right? This is you taking your products. And I see your question. Hold on one second. For me, I think that when you can show that you are truly using your products, every single morning, my unmanicured nails are on my, and y'all, atrocious. It's really, I look at it every single morning as I'm snapping my picture, and I'm like, it's okay. It shows I'm using the products. So products on my stories, it shows that you're using it. I've been using the products for almost 3 years, and every single day I will post that I'm using these products. Why? You're building trust. I know a lot of times you're like, I post it every single day. I don't need to post it. Yes, you do. If you want somebody to buy your products, if you want somebody to trust you to use these products, you gotta post that you're also using them. I don't care if you've posted it the last 364 days. You're gonna post it the next 364 days, and then even more after that, right? Every single day I post my products. I don't care where I am. I don't care what I'm doing. If I'm taking the products, which I am every day, because let's be real, I don't want to go a day without this stuff. Nobody should go a day without this stuff. Therefore, I'm showing that I'm using it. The more you put it on your stories, I get questions all the time. I call Activate and Blast my mom fuel. I get questions all the time like, what is that mom fuel? That's how you add items to the 3-step orders, because you're using them. People are seeing them. So when they're asking you questions about it, they're going to say, well, what was that flat tummy pill that you use every single night? What's that de-bloat thing that you talk about on your stories? And I'm not saying post all of your product stories in the very beginning. As you're using them, post them. So I'll post my vitamins. Then I'll go about my morning, and then I'll post my shake. I'll post whatever DFT I'm wearing for the day, and yada, yada. Then if I have an Activate and a Blast, or just a Blast, I share that after whatever I'm doing it. But in between those, I'm sharing my life. I'm sharing what I'm doing, stuff like that. So for me, then at night when I go to bed and I put de-bloat and recharge, when people ask me and they ask me what I use or what I do, a lot of times I get asked, what is that de-bloat? What is that recharge? What is that mom fuel? That's how you add plus line products and work them in. And that's how you add on to sales without even being salesy, without even telling someone they need this, because they're asking you, but they don't know that you're using it if you don't put them on your stories. My next IPA is always sharing to my stories, which we just talked about, sharing life in between, and all that stuff. And every single day, and I know that if you've been on a work with me Zoom before, I've said this and people always laugh at me, opportunity story every single day. If you put one on yesterday, congratulations, you did it yesterday. Let's do it again today. I will always say that till I am blue in the face. You guys know how I feel about opportunity stories. I think that the number one reason why I enroll so many promoters and why people join my team, exactly what you did yesterday doesn't count today. I'm going to get to the questions in just a second in the chat. I feel like it's because I show up every single day. And I loved when Kaylee trains and she tells people and she says, I watched Lynn's for 11 months. Not a single day goes by that she didn't show up in her stories and draw me in for 11 months. She's going to go 40K here real soon. So think about it. I would have not had this amazing 40K leg, and I see a lot of her babes on here, and amazing friendships and amazing sisterhood and amazing community if I wouldn't have shown up every single day for 11 months. And let me tell you guys, she never once told me for 11 months she was interested. She never once asked me a question, but because every single day I posted in my stories, kept her watching, kept her, see, there you go. I watched Rochelle for a year, all this stuff. People are watching since day one. I get people all the time that tell me that they watch my stories every single day and they have for 3 years. I'm like, wow, okay. I didn't even know that like you knew who I was, because we've never had a conversation. This is where that is built. This is where that building behind the scenes happens. The question was, how do you know or decide who are the best people to follow? You don't. There is no way for you to be like, this one wants to be a promoter, this one wants to be a customer, this one has no interest. There's no way. It's trial and error. You are just following people and making real, genuine connections and relationships. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You're just doing it. So IPAs, self-development, products on stories, share to your stories, interactions. So now that I just shared a little bit to my stories and my products are on my stories, I like to go in and interact on stories. Do y'all feel like you're on a work with me right now? I feel like we're doing a work with me Zoom. It's okay. I'm leading one this week. Don't miss it. I will be going through all of this stuff, like a little solid plug there. It's fine. Interactions, we're going to do them on our stories. Now that I just spent a lot of time on my stories, I shared my products, I shared my life. I probably put up an opportunity post. I'm going to go through and I'm going to interact. Why? Because if I have not talked to somebody in their stories before and I have something to say to them and I'm in their DMs, they're probably going to go to my page. And the first thing that people do, and I don't know about y'all, but every single time, and what I do is I look at people's stories. And I can tell you right now, if you don't have anything in your stories, you're doing your, what's the word? Rob says injustice. Is that the word? Disservice. Is that the same thing? Is that like a synonym? I don't know how I do this, y'all. See, I'm telling you guys. Life. Welcome to it. But it's true. You really are. He sits in the living room over here and corrects my words and helps me when I am like struggling. He's like, no, and I'm like, okay. So that's our life. If you were wondering how we do trainings, he listens from the living room and tells me the words I do wrong. So interactions, stories, if you aren't using your stories, you're really not doing all of everything that you can for your interactions and for the building aspect of it. And I know a lot of times I hear, using my stories is scary. I'm so lame. Y'all, I literally watch Harry Potter over, I'm 27 years old with an 11-month-old, and I could recite every single line in every single Harry Potter. Like, hi, you think, no, you're fine. Share it. Every single time I watch Harry Potter, I post it on my story, and every single time I get at least 10 people that message me, oh my gosh, I love Harry Potter. Y'all, what you think is lame, what you think other people don't understand, what you think XYZ is exactly what makes you relatable. Danny, one of my 12Ks on my team, she shared how she didn't know her brand. And so I said, in a minute or less, tell me who you are. And she was like, you want me to explain it? Yep, a minute or less. Said, if it's over a minute, I'm not listening. A minute or less. So she did. She got it under a minute. And the only thing that she could get out was how weird she was. And she said, that didn't explain anything at all. I said, it explains everything. Your brand is that you're weird. It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate it and try and make yourself something that you aren't. Your stories are where you can kind of shine and show who you are. So self-development, product on stories, share to your stories, interactions. This is normally around the time that I'm working on a post, or, oh, that's cool, my phone died. We're working on a post, doing a post, trying to, let me get the IPAs up on my laptop for y'all. Hold on, sorry. Y'all know I can't do like two things at once. I can barely walk and chew gum. We're almost there. We're there. Okay. No one in my chat send anything, please, because it's up on my chat and I have a feeling if someone says something, it's going to go all the way up. Okay. Interactions, posting. Okay, cool. We're here. So my biggest suggestion at this point is to make a post. You just did interactions. You just are creating those conversations. I want you to work on a post. The reason I say that is because if you're making those interactions and you're in people's messengers and you're talking about life, they're probably going to go and they're going to look at your page, right? They're going to look at your story. They're going to look at your page. For me, I would like to have something up that's new that maybe they can react to. Maybe they can interact with themselves. Why? Because the more that people interact with your new stuff, the more that people respond to your posts and to stuff like that, and they're in your inbox, the more you're going to pop up on their newsfeed organically. Then your interactions are working for themselves. This is when working behind the scenes and all the things you do behind the scenes plays a huge role, and it happens for you. This is when I say your business is built behind the scenes. This is why. Okay, so we have self-development, products on stories, shared stories, interactions, posting. Now I want you to grow your network. Grow your network. Get out there. Time block it though. Don't set a, I have to do 15. Don't set a, I have to do 50. Don't set a, oh my gosh, I need to follow 100 people. Say, I'm going to do 5 minutes, and when I get done, I get done. Okay? I want you guys to try it that way. Stop giving yourself numbers for things. Then once you do that, I want you to do some 3, 2, 1s on those new people. I want you to go to their pages, and you know how we find, yeah, I don't like numbers. I'm not a big, on my phone's dead. I just keep trying to go on to like say things to y'all. So when you, let's see if I can do it from muscle memory up in this big old noggin of mine. Okay. So we're going to go to Instagram. You're going to go to people you're following. the top of that is going to be a circle with like an up arrow and a down arrow. You're going to click that and you're going to filter to latest. From there, it's going to pop up everybody that you just followed in that last 5 minutes. You know what you're going to do? You're going to go through and you're going to do 3, 2, 1. Look at their story, look at their pages. Interact with them. Why? Because you just followed them. Now, of course, what are you going to do? You're going to show them some love and interact and try and build a relationship, a true one that's adding value. Nothing to do with the business. Please do not be that person that follows somebody and then sends them a message and says, "You're so cute." I don't know about y'all, but being cute never built my business. Being cute never paid my mortgage. I've tried, I've gone to the bank, I've smiled, I've, hey, never worked. I don't know about y'all, but being cute and smiling at Paul and Jason never built me to 200K. I don't know about y'all, but I can smile at them all I want and just be like, hi. They're never going to be like, here's a 200K leg. Ain't going to happen. Like, I wish for every single one of us, because we're a very cute team, I wish that we could, but it's just not going to work. So please don't do that for yourself. I'm trying to make sure I'm reading all the comments. Okay, cool. Sorry, I just got a cough attack. Okay, so we're growing our networks. We're doing 3, 2, 1s. That is basically what I do for my round of IPAs every single morning. So you just went through a morning with me. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide, am I doing non-negotiables for the rest of the day? Am I doing a round of IPAs for the rest of the day, like continuing just going off of that? Or am I working on intentionally building one of my non-negotiables? And this is where I decide, because I get asked all the time, how do you decide what you're going to do for the day? What's your business plan? What do you do? I decide that day. Why? Because when you wake up and you are in your own mental space and you decide, you know what? Let's crush this round of IPAs. I'm just going to do a bunch of rounds and get my algorithm going. Perfect. Then guess what? We're going to work on our algorithm and we're going to hit rounds of IPAs hard for the rest of the day. But I don't know about you guys, but that is exhausting to me, to be on my phone every single day that way. That's not how you build a business. So maybe one day, maybe every other day you do that, right? In between those days, when you feel like you're tired and you wake up and you're like, I need a nap, because we all do it. We're probably right now, we're like, I guess at this time of night, it's just called going to sleep, not really a nap, but we all do it. So for me, on my days where I wake up and I feel unmotivated, this is where discipline comes in versus motivation. And if you tell me you're motivated every day, I'm not going to be able to relate to you. I'm going to say, wow, spread some that way, right? Because, and I say this all the time, I may be the least motivated person, but I am the most disciplined person in the room. I don't need to be the most motivated. I don't need to be the one ready to run a mile. I don't need to be the one with my hair and makeup done and woke up early and got there early and was very excited. I don't need to be that one in the room, because I know I'm the most disciplined in the room. And I know, because I will always bet on myself. So on those days where, and if you were on my Zoom last night, I talked about my Matilda principal bun. Those days are the ones where I have that principal top bun, in Matilda, where you look like rough. That's me. I'm sitting on the couch and I'm doing my non-negotiables. For me, that works. But some days I sit down and I say, you know what? I really don't have a lot of people in my inbox right now. My potentials list kind of dry. You know what I do on those days where I'm literally like, not a single person's in my inbox. I'm not talking to anyone. I don't have anybody on my calendar. Like, I work on building the value within my non-negotiables. So I work on interactions for one day. The next day I grow my network. Yeah, Mrs. Trenchbull, is that what it is? That's me on these days. The hair, not the attitude, the hair. Well, maybe a little of the attitude. But, that's me. So I will sit there and I will do interactions all day. And I'm not saying all day glues my phone, but like 5-minute intervals. Because if you're doing interactions all day long on your phone, How are you interacting with new people? Because you're constantly looking at the same people. You have to give people time to refresh and do their life, just like you have to do your life. So I want you to sit and I want you to do 5-10 minutes of interactions. Then put your phone away, unplug for a moment, recharge yourself. Then come back and do 5-10 more minutes. Then unplug, put your phone away, or catch up with your team, catch up wherever you need to be, work on content behind the scenes. These are days where I make stories and I stockpile stories, right? Build your non-negotiables. Build those up to have value so that way on days that you do those, you know the next day your inbox is going to have people in it. And not only are you then the next day going to be working on growing your network, you're going to be growing your network and responding to potentials. Then the next day after that, you're going to be 3, 2, 1 on all the new people you just did and finishing responding to some potentials and then getting back into doing rounds of IPAs. Every single morning, do not get me wrong, every single morning I do at least 1 round of IPAs, what I just said to you guys. But after that, I pick and choose what I'm going to do. Why? Because if you sit down and you drill IPAs and you drill and you drill and you drill, you're going to message your sponsor. You're going to say, I'm doing all the things. What am I doing wrong? I'm literally doing what Lynn's told me to do. That's what you're doing wrong. I'm not telling you to do anything. I am showing you what works for me, and I want you to apply it to what works for you. So I think I take the blame for this one. I think what I did wrong a year ago when I talked about, I can explain 3, 2, 1s again. When I talked about IPAs, I really, really talked about doing rounds of IPAs and doing them and doing them and doing them, that I didn't talk about how to separate them. Because really, honestly, when you do a round of IPAs, sorry, y'all, and you post your products in your stories, you post an opportunity story, and you do your self-development, all of those IPAs are done for the day. So really, what are you left with? Your daily non-negotiables. Think about it. What are you left with after you do the IPAs that only consist of you doing it once? Like wishing somebody a happy birthday. Every time you do a round of IPAs in the day, are you then going to go back and say happy birthday to them again? No, you're done with that. After you post in your first round of IPAs, what are you going to do? Go ahead and post again? No, you're done with that. So really what's left is your core non-negotiables that you can build your business off of. Yes, those other things are important, but the core ones that you're going to do all day long, those, when you write those down and you have a routine off of them, that is when it's built behind the scenes, because that's when you're building those potentials. That's when you're building those relationships. Hold on, there was a random question, but when you sign up a promoter and they post a curiosity post and have people interested in knowing more, do you ever hop in a three-way chat or just talk them through to explain it to them? I feel like my new promoters need help on communicating the products. Three-way chat all day long. Why? And when I say, well, not all day long, three-way chat for the first few, so they can get an idea of how I'm talking in a conversation. After that, after they're out of their first 14 days, instead of doing three-way chats every single time, I say, let's walk through it together. Tell me what they're saying that you don't know, because you've been in three-way chats with me for the last 2 weeks. Now, what have you learned from those, right? Because I know that when I first joined and Em did three-way chats with me and I listened to her, I adapted kind of words that she used. So I think that when you help them in three-way chats for a while, then it's kind of like pushing them out of the nest and teaching them how to fly like a little bird. You're still there to answer. Like they can send you a screenshot and be like, what would you say to this? And you can say, I would say this, but the conversation is still theirs. They're taking control. They're being the leader. Because I feel like when somebody, hey babe, can you bring my water, please? Sorry. I feel like when, this is not cute. Sorry, y'all. I feel like when people are in three-way chats all the way through their relationship, thank you, baby, with the company or with that, they lose the leadership value of it, of if you were to join me, but you were in a three-way chat with me and M and you had questions and M was the only one answering questions and you joined me, who would you then go to ask questions to? Probably M, because when you enrolled, she answered all your questions. So yes, as your uplines, we're here to help you. We want to do three-way chats, but you need to have that leadership role within your downline because they need to know that they can trust you and come to you with questions, if that makes sense. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So this is something that Christina Brill does. I just kind of changed it a little bit. So she does 3, 2, 1s as interactions. I do 3, 2, 1s with my growing of my network. So it's the same concept no matter what. We just do it a little bit different, but I did learn it from Christina Brill. So for me, 3, 2, 1s are liking 3 pictures, commenting on 2 pictures, and interacting with at least 1 story. And an interaction, remember, is not swiping up and sending an emoji or like the clappy hands or anything like that. An interaction is actually like starting a conversation or responding. So for me, those 3, 2, 1s are huge when growing my network, not just interacting, because I feel like it also helps me clean up my following. If I don't have a way to do a 3, 2, 1 to someone, they don't have anything in their story and they haven't posted since 2018, well, sorry, but I'm going to unfollow you because the chance that tomorrow I'm going to be able to do an IPA interaction with you, probably non-existent, right? So it also helps you to be able to clean up your network. So I kind of use it as a couple of those. So for me, that is how I took it. But I know Christina does them as actual interactions, which are great. Also, she goes through when people follow her or when she is doing interactions, like if people like her post and she hasn't interacted them with before, she goes to her notifications section and she clicks through and she does 3, 2, 1s on those people also. And she says it gets her followers also. So you can do them in all different ways. It really, again, don't take it too literal. Figure out what works best for you. So do we have any other questions on IPAs versus non-negotiables? How to tell the difference, when you want to do them, or anything like that? Does anybody not know what their non-negotiables are yet? Because we can also talk about that too. If not, we can totally have an early night and an end of chat. I know a couple of you guys are still running, so I don't want to keep you guys too long on end of month, but I don't see anything. Okay, cool. So that's all that I have about IPAs and non-negotiables. I feel like IPAs for the most part are the core of your business, but the non-negotiables are the core of the IPAs, if that makes sense. Your non-negotiables are going to be really, really what you're doing throughout the day. It's going to be those things that when you don't want to show up, that you're going to do anyways. When you set non-negotiables for your business, when you set those criterias, I guess, and you say, you know what, these are what I have to do every single day. It doesn't matter, rain or shine, hurricane, tornado, it doesn't matter. Well, obviously it does in that sense, but you know what I mean? In your mind, those to me are when I'm like, okay, I might want to unplug, but let me get these done. And then I'm going to unplug for a moment, because I can tell you, I never regretted doing a round of IPAs or focusing and building my non-negotiables, but I have regretted taking and not doing something. Like I've regretted not sharing something or not posting something or something like that, but I've never regretted doing it, if that makes sense. So I hope that you guys have a great rest of your night. Happy month end. Tomorrow is a new month. We all start at 0. We all start with the same tools, the same resources, the same availability of everybody that you see here. And it's just what you do with it. So set your goals for September, because how you end this month running is how you're going to run into September. If you are on the break right now and you are like, then guess what? You start September at a stop, at a slower motion. But if you're running right now and you don't care that it's month end and you're still enrolling promoters, you're still enrolling customers, whether you hit your goal or not, and you are like, you know what, I'm going to start again tomorrow. How you end today and this month is how you're going to run into tomorrow. If you continue to run here this month, then you're going to continue to run into September because you never stopped. And guess what? You don't have to pick up momentum because the momentum is already there. And I want to leave you guys with one more thing, is you don't have to be the most motivated person in the room, but you damn sure well better be the most disciplined person in the room for yourself. And I'm not saying be more disciplined than person next to you or this. I'm saying for yourself. Believe in yourself. Bet on yourself, because I can tell you one thing, I never have lost anything when I bet on myself. And I can guarantee that a lot of you guys can feel the same way, that when somebody tells you you can't do it and you say, bet, I know what I can, you're damn sure doing it. So I want you to bet on yourself. Stop listening to what others say. Tomorrow is a new month, a fresh start. And I know we have goals, and I know I've talked to so many of you guys, and I know that every single one of you guys are actually capable of doing it if you just believed in yourself. So I love you guys. Happy month end, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.